Could it actually be happening this week? Could the Miami Dolphins finally be getting a little help, a little spark from somewhere unexpected? It's been one of those seasons that feels like it's always dangling between something great and something fragile. The team's been fighting through bruises, through noise, through weeks that blur together. Now, with a game in Spain against Washington coming up, the mood feels uncertain but charged. And Mike McDaniel, calm but wired in his own strange way, dropped a line that made everyone stop for a second. Not a promise, not even close, but enough to make you think. "I'll have a firm answer on Wednesday," he said, eyes somewhere between focus and fatigue, talking about injured players and the chance of someone returning to practice. That word, somebody, just hung there. He said it like it meant something, like he already had a picture in his head, but didn't want to give it away. So who's the somebody? Who's the face behind that small mystery McDaniel left hanging in the air? The Dolphins have a few players stashed away on reserve lists, some written off for the year, others quietly grinding behind closed doors, waiting for a window to open literally. And if one of them comes back now before the bye, right after the emotional high of beating Buffalo in that messy, glorious upset, it could shift something. You can't talk about the Dolphins' offensive line without mentioning what happened when Austin Jackson went down in 2024. The team's rhythm cracked. The run game, once electric, suddenly looked hesitant. Holes closed faster. The timing was off. Every handoff looked like it needed half a second more. Jackson's absence wasn't just another injury. It reshaped the way Miami played football. So what did they do? They brought in Larry Borom, the kind of guy every team wants, but no one really celebrates. A swing tackle, reliable, sturdy, never flashy. He's been fine. Fine isn't bad, it's just fine. He holds up, he blocks, he keeps the machine moving. But Jackson, when he's healthy, plays like he's got something personal against defenders. He brings this mix of power and agility that makes you believe Miami's offense could hit another gear. Here's the catch, though. The line's been doing surprisingly well in pass protection even without him. Only 5 pressures allowed over 6 games. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. So, would Jackson's return shake things up? Would it make things better, or just different? That's the question that lingers. Still, if you've seen him at full strength, you know the difference. The way he moves defenders off balance, the way he finishes plays like every snap, means something bigger. Miami misses that. They miss him. Then there's Jason Sanders, the kicker no one talks about until suddenly everyone does. He went down during the preseason, out of nowhere, like these things always happen. One week he's warming up for a meaningless game. The next he's gone, replaced, forgotten, almost like an afterthought. Miami patched things up with Riley Patterson, a short-term fix that somehow became long-term. And at first it worked. The kicks went through. Nobody questioned it. Winning makes everything look fine. But cracks started showing. Patterson's misses began stacking quietly. One from deep against the Chargers, another from mid-range against Baltimore. Then that extra point against Buffalo that made everyone glance at each other like, "Wait, what was that?" Small things, but small things matter. Because Sanders, when he's on, changes how Miami plays. He gives them range. He gives them freedom. He makes third downs on the edge of field goal territory feel less desperate. In 2024, he hit 12 of 14, from 50+. That's power. That's confidence. That's the kind of leg that can tilt a close game. And Miami's had plenty of those, where one more kick could have made the whole storyline different. So yeah, maybe it's not the flashiest comeback. But sometimes, the quietest return is the one that shifts everything. And then there's James Daniels, the name that could rewrite Miami's entire offensive identity if he steps back on that field. You can argue about who's more talented, sure. Some would say Jackson. But Daniels brings something the team's been missing: stability, experience, muscle in the trenches that actually bends defenses. Miami's been plugging that right guard spot with anyone who can hold it down. Most recently Cole Strange, a former first-rounder trying to find his footing again. He's been fine, good even, but not the kind of presence that changes the feel of a drive. Daniels, though, he's built different. He's got that anchor quality. The kind that doesn't show up on stat sheets but shows up when your quarterback isn't on the ground. He knows how to set a tone, Every snap looks like a challenge he's trying to win. And Miami's line, for all the shuffling and improvising, could use that. If there's only room for one player to come back this week, this is the guy you hope for. Not because he's perfect, but because he fills the space no one else has managed to fill. So now the team's in this strange limbo. Heading to Spain, a whole other country, new atmosphere, jet lag, different energy. And hanging over it all is the question, who's coming back? Who's going to walk onto that practice field and make everything feel a little more possible again? The timing couldn't be weirder. Just when Miami starts building something, right after that emotional high against Buffalo, they're thrown into travel chaos and roster uncertainty. McDaniel, ever the poker face, says he'll have a firm answer Wednesday. That could mean anything. Could mean no one. Could mean everything. You can picture it, though. That quiet Thursday practice, the Florida sun replaced by something softer in Spain, the players warming up, and suddenly, a familiar face stepping onto the field. The noise picks up a little. Heads turn. It doesn't take words. The team knows. That's the thing about moments like this. They don't come with announcements or hype videos. They come quietly, right when a team's trying to steady itself, and suddenly you realize someone's back who makes everyone believe again. Maybe it's Jackson, ready to shove someone halfway to the sideline again. Maybe it's Sanders, lining up from deep just to remind everyone how easy 53 yards can look when the leg's right. Or maybe it's Daniels, sliding back into that guard spot like he never left, giving Tua that half-second more that changes the throw, the play, the drive, the game. And the Dolphins, man, they've been close. You can feel it. Games where they flash brilliance and then fade into confusion. Games where one drive could have rewritten the ending. It's never been about heart. That's always there. It's about timing. About having the right guys in the right spots at the right time. So here we are, waiting. Waiting for Wednesday. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for that, somebody McDaniel teased. The locker room probably feels it too. That weird mix of anticipation and exhaustion. The kind of week where everyone pretends they're just focused on the next game, but they're really wondering who's walking back through that door. Because this isn't just about health reports or practice windows. It's about rhythm. It's about a team trying to get back to the version of itself that felt unstoppable earlier in the year. And maybe, just maybe, one return changes the pulse again. The Dolphins have shown flashes, big plays, clean drives, moments of dominance. But they've also shown cracks. Games where the offense feels heavy, where the defense bends too much, where the special teams falter at the worst time. Reinforcements aren't just about skill, they're about energy. The belief that something better is right around the corner. And this week, against Washington, in a whole other country, on a field that feels a little foreign, that might be exactly what they need. A spark. A sign that the push isn't over. That this season, however messy, still has room for something wild. So maybe McDaniel's quiet, we'll see if that someone does, wasn't just coach speak. Maybe it was a hint. A flicker. Because deep down, this team knows it's been surviving, not thriving. And sometimes, all it takes is one player, one moment, one familiar sound of pads clashing, to flip everything back to the way it's supposed to be. No promises. No guarantees. Just that feeling. The one that keeps fans awake the night before kickoff, wondering if this week is finally the one where everything starts to click again. And if it is, well, then maybe that somebody won't just be coming back. Maybe they'll be the reason the Dolphins start looking like the Dolphins again.